I've been in emergency service for better part of 2 decades. My job was more or less like, when you say training, yes, there is obviously pretty lengthy training, but there's not a lot of training on how to manage the stressors that come with it and deal with it before it becomes a problem. Like, people weren't people to me. My running pretty much came to a halt, being diagnosed with PTSD. I realized that I was kind of running away from everything. The hardest thing was actually going and asking for that initial help, saying, I need help. Being able to understand that that process was hard, but I'm like, okay, well, running is a process too. Like, you can't run the distances that I want to run and not be all in. I'd always ran like shorter trail runs, and it was only probably about a year after moving over to the actual 911 dispatcher role that I really kind of started moving towards longer distances. In January, during a trip out to Nordegg, we were driving on the highway, and I said, this would be a beautiful run. I just started doing some calculations when we got back to the cabin that we were at, and I was like, hey, this actually works out to be almost exactly 100 miles if I go from here to here. And it was Nordegg to Thompson Creek Campground and then back. I looked at it and I was like, so it's 2,000 meters of elevation and 100 miles, exactly to a T. I was determined to run it no matter what. No matter how it was going to happen, I had already picked the date. I wasn't going to move it. Obviously with all the healing and everything I've done over the last year and a half, through all the therapy and all the running and everything else, it was more of now you're gonna do something that's physically hard after you've done something so incredibly mentally hard. This should be a cakewalk compared to what you just did. So that first 42K or first marathon went by so fast, and it was nothing was gonna stop me. I was just I didn't even realize how, I'm already 35 kilometers in, this is going pretty fast. So I had made it through basically 2 and a bit marathons, so it would have been just over 100K. And I was noticing that my left foot was starting to bother me a little bit. The whole front tendon on the front of my ankle was just swollen and inflamed.
Jesus, that was awful.
I've given it everything I can right now, and to put myself into an injury state of not knowing what this actually is, I just pulled the pin and I just said I'm done.
Well, that just goes to show you how hard this actually is.
Yeah.
Right?
Because you were talking even 20 minutes ago, you're yeah, I can still run this, I can do this in 5 hours, I can do this.
Yeah. I don't care if it takes me 5 hours, fine.
Yeah.
But I can't justify walking on that for another
42 kilometers. I mean, it's questionable whether it's even safe for you at that point. If you get super tired, you're going to be 8, 9 o'clock in the morning. But you can look at it as a letdown and a disappointment, or you can look at it as you just ran 115 kilometers, 120 kilometers. That's insane.
You did something all by yourself that you said you were going to do, and you pushed yourself as far as you could, and didn't work out, but it was worth the effort for sure. I used to have a lot of pre-race anxiety, just nervous the entire time, almost literally shaking or vibrating before races. But it's weird, this is the calmest I've ever been before any race. That process and everything of like all the training miles and all the kilometers and all the elevation that I did beforehand, like that was the work. The race is like the celebration now of all of that effort and time. This is time for you to like celebrate it, not like be nervous and anxious that you're not going to finish. Like, enjoy it.
Are you ready?
Well, I know the taper worked because my legs feel really good today. Ask me in 12 hours.
That first day, it was, I was feeling really, really strong up until probably about halfway through the second leg. And then as soon as we started doing the climbs up in the higher alpine on that second leg, like it was tough. Straight up vertical alpine climbing on scree, going down on scree. It's a slog on the first 100 miles, and you're not going to see anybody until 135 kilometers. So that's your first pacer. So I mean, you're going for a long time before you get to see anybody. An aid station is more like you got to think of it like a pit stop, like a NASCAR pit stop where you're like, okay, got my 2 waters, got my, oh no, I don't need any other food. I want to warm up my hands and feet for a few minutes because they're really cold. Okay, I got my gloves, I got my toque, or I got my poles, just making sure you have everything with you because it's so easy when you get deeper into them to not trust your brain anymore because it's going to play tricks on you no matter what you do. Sleep deprivation is a big deal with these races and understanding how to manage it. Nobody really truly knows. There's some books and articles and other things that people have talked about it and how to manage it, but everybody's body is different, right?
This is an interesting time because the animals are all getting really ready for fall. They are very hungry right now, but they're not so much focused on hunting, they are focused on foraging. But if you do make yourself an easy prey, like sleeping on the trail somewhere alone in the dark, that's not maybe the best idea. You might want to reconsider the dirt naps out in remote areas if you're alone.
Well, I made sure that we went in with a plan for sleep as opposed to sleeping in the dirt on the side of the trail for 10 minutes and not knowing if I'm going to wake up or not, or if a bear is going to come and I have to hold my bear spray while I'm sleeping. So my plan was to sleep twice. That was the idea. Was an hour and a half and an hour and a half. That was it. At 135 kilometers and at 240 kilometers. Those were the 2 options for sleep. When the crew was going to be there, I could climb into the back of the vehicle, crawl into a sleeping bag and pass out and be comfortable.
Pull him straight out. Hi. Good morning.
It's a beautiful day to run racing horse class.
Yeah. Listen to that positive pacer attitude.
Did you actually sleep?
I think so. I definitely don't remember the entire time, so I feel like I did.
You must have. I know. Yeah.
Beautiful. Just to wipe his foot.
Did you say rubbing alcohol?
Yeah. Just so it doesn't get infected. That left back blister that he was popped.
Are you okay?
Yep, just checking in to leave.
Awesome. Hey, and then do you know where to go to get out?
That way?
Literally had been running since Tuesday at 8 in the morning. It's Friday at 7 o'clock at night. I'm sitting there, I'm like, you've been running for 3.5 days. Trying to comprehend that in the moment when you're sleep deprived. And it's just this just such a rush of emotions coming in all at once. Everything that I'd done to tie it all together to be holy crap, you did that. All of that work that you did, got you to here. coming across that line and, like falling into Cassie's arms and just like literally just a puddle of tears. I literally like tossed my poles as soon as I crossed the finish line and just like, I don't know, just like completely broke down. You're never gonna get it back. Like that time happened and it's gone. I don't know if I'll ever feel like that again at the end of a race because of everything. It was a pretty incredible experience. The running was like complementary to the therapy, and the therapy was complementary to the running. And if I didn't have both, I don't know what the situation would have been. So I'm not running away anymore, and I'm actually running forward now.